This month, our character quality is resourcefulness. Resourcefulness versus wastefulness. Finding practical use for that which others would overlook or discard. You know, the 49 character qualities we work with, you think about words, actions, and attitudes. To me, this is almost like a thinking quality. And by that, I mean this. Around us, we've got possessions, things we own, relationships, interaction. This is a quality where in the things that we have in our possession and that we're working with, rather than throw things away or not use them, if we're thinking right, we can save a lot. Now, I want to give you an example. Here on page 2, we've got the 5 key concepts. And we were working with a company one time, and a woman was telling us that they had just built a brand new facility. There was a field out in front, and there wasn't any grass growing. Next to them was a sod company where the trucks would make the turn right on the curb where their facility was, and sometimes the sod would fall over. Guess what she did? She was resourceful. She'd run out and pick it up and plant it. Let's look at the 5 key concepts and see how she did. And I'm going to use a post note, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Find what you need. You know, rather than just go out and buy stuff and spend money, which is so easy to do, things may be at our fingertip. They may be around us. They were for her. Number 2 is use what you have. And when we can use the things we have, we are reusing or resourcing what we have. Number 3 is improve resources. The things that we have, we can do better with. That's what she did with her front lawn. Number 4 is exercise your talents. I mean, maybe going to college, getting more education, maybe reading books, or developing our own even character. And then 5 is share with others. You know, and that's what she did. The beautification of their front yard was so much nicer for their company. Whenever we're resourceful, many people are benefited. Here at the page 2 and page 3, it talks about the post note. And you know how this came about, or post-it? Dr. Spencer Silver was a researcher at 3M, and he was trying to come up with a glue for tape, and it wasn't very strong, so he couldn't use it. It was set to the side. Well, another fellow, and his name is Art Fry, a researcher for 3M, at his church, going through the hymn book, was trying to mark certain places in hymns, and the little marks wouldn't stay in there. So he found out if he used these post notes, these sticky notes, that they would stay in there, and that was the beginning of the post note, being resourceful. I like this on page 3. Ford. What happened was the early Ford models, when they were shipped to companies or to the dealerships, they would come in a wooden crate. They found out they could take those wooden slats and they could use them as floorboards for the car. Can you imagine having a floorboard made out of wood and from the crate? Resourcefulness. And then finally on the back, this fellow right here, Jan Ernst Ziegler. He was born in Dutch Guiana, and what happened with him is he worked in a shoe manufacturing shop, and around him were all kinds of things that he could make a machine to make shoes many times faster than being hand sewn. And he was resourceful. Incredible story. $20 million business in a matter of years. Now, I just want to give you 10 things, 10 ideas to think about where we could save. Number 1 is lights. How often do you turn off lights when you're not using them? How much of a saving? My son and I looked at kilowatts. It's amazing. Number 2 is gas. I once heard a researcher for a petroleum company say after 30 seconds, if you can turn that ignition off, you can save money. In other words, there is saving, even though it does cost a little bit to crank a car back up. Number 3 is interest. Interest on the money you have in your checking account. I use a money market, and I'm earning interest, making money, rather than just letting it sit idle. Another thing to think about are discounts. It is amazing how many people will give you discounts if you just ask, and they're not offended by it. 4 is paper. You know, we recycle paper. We use used paper when we're doing brainstorming. We use the back side of paper that we've used. 5 is time. Now, if you're on the phone, you're talking with someone, if they put you on hold, can you go to the computer and do something? We can waste so much time and be productive. Number 6 are relationships. What do we do with the relationships, past relationships? Do we keep emails? Do we write people's notes? Do we stay in communication? We can help them. They may be able to help us. 7 is health. Exercise. Do I exercise enough? And what about what we eat? It's so important to have good health, or we could discard it. 8 is brain power. Do you read? Keeping that mind thinking clear. It's amazing what will happen when we do. 9 is clothes. If we go through our wardrobe, can we find clothes we're not using? There's a lot of people today in this economy that could use those. And number 10 is smile. This is one of the biggest of all. I heard a man say the other day, a smile is a communication known by all languages. Keep it going. Keep your smile. I hope this has been helpful. Think about being resourceful and turn off the lights when you're not using them. See you next month.